So, hi everybody. You're gonna hear the, let's see, trying to see if I can adjust my actual, if I can zoom in. It's not letting me zoom. I want to be able to zoom. Why? Because I zoomed when, before I started this. So I'm gonna have to actually try and get my tripod to be really low to get really close to this. So let's try this. Just doing this with one hand. See. See what that looks like. Right, it's a bit closer, still not quite there. A little bit more. So I'm adjusting this tripod with just one hand. Here you can see it's a watercolor on gesso that I did yesterday evening. So I'm just trying to do this live, but having to adjust my tripod with one hand again so that I can start the session. So I'm going to remember this, that this is how I have to have this. Just checking. Right, okay, I think that should be okay-ish. So that's as close as I can get. So there, just adjust myself. So I've done these pages, which I'd said I'd do one after doing this one per day, but I've done a few more because I think one or two things have been going on in my mind, which is to try and actually have sketchbook in time for myself. So yeah, I've just tried to start doing some work myself as well. So these I put gesso down on the paper like I did with this one yesterday, and then I just drew with it with pencil, and after that I then used my alcohol pens, which I have over here. So I used these pens to basically paint, oh yeah, I shouldn't put this, too dark, to paint, well, to draw this character here on top of the pencil. Then I did something similar here where I used the alcohol pens over for her hair, over my sketch of pencil. And what I did with the pencil was I drew with my weaker hand, which is with my left hand, to get this character. So I'm going to try and do the same thing again on another page. So I'm going to get my gesso, just white gesso. I have black gesso as well, which you could probably combine the two of them, but right now I'm trying to figure out some ways of approaching my drawing, because I think I have this thing where I love my drawings, but then my actual paintings, I'm questioning what they look like. And I've got two minds on some of my sketches actually going back and working on them for longer, because I heard an artist recently, Happy D artist, talking about having a piece set aside that she wants to work on for herself all year round or something like that. And I was thinking I need to start thinking like that, where I can have a piece where there's like a constant manipulation on it through the whole year, where I might be happy with something, but I should actually kind of, it's like deconstructing and building and deconstructing over and over again. And yes, you see points where you think you should stop, but it's to keep on going. And just basically feeling brave enough to think that either you learn something from the process, or that you will actually have something at the end of it that you will cherish because of the actual process of creating. So I have put that gesso down. It takes a little while to dry, so I'll talk about some other things while we're waiting for that to dry, because I do have my electric embossing tool that I could have used to dry this, but I thought, you know what, I'll talk about some other stuff while that page is drying, because it takes a little while to dry, and then I'll start working on it. But I really like the way that the alcohol pen was working on this, and I've been learning some stuff which is you can only find out in the doing, which is how it blends together. It's yeah, it's just interesting. Just doing it is what helps you to actually understand how your tools work. So this, usually I'd be tempted to make it a lot darker and put more in it and really really make the eyes darker and everything, but I like that kind of illustrated sketchy feel on it, so I'm gonna leave that alone. And I have some other drawings that I'd created some time ago, which I'm using to try and inspire me for this whole process that I'm doing right now, which is I don't know if you could see that, but these are little pencil sketches. They're very light, that I did with my left hand, which is my weaker hand. And so I'm kind of referring back to these to try and feel freer in the way that I'm drawing and things. So I really like the way that a lot of these turned out. So yeah, and so I'm going to be doing characters like this basically on this paper. And I mean, this paper is small, and look, I was able to do a full character on this, but I've been doing heads recently, so I might end up just doing 1 or 2 characters, maybe even on this page. Doesn't have to be one. So I really liked a lot of these characters that I did here. I've put some stars in her hair. I really like that idea. And then I've got all these plants coming out of her neck, so I might do something along this line today. Yeah, and this one where she's got her hair flowing as well, so this might be more than one sketch that happens on this page today. So yeah, I really like these, and I will build on this slowly and then basically work with the watercolors. So I have these watercolors here that I might use, and other watercolors from this set I might use as well. So, and then, and once it's dried a lot more, I'll use the pens, these pens, which I really love. So I'm trying to think what colors I'll use. These are so exciting. These pens I got online, and the sketch markers. So they have, on one side I have a thicker tip there, which is like that. So, and then on the other side it's a thinner one. So I'm trying to bring in the sketching to my actual painting and creating, and I have some of these paint sticks that I might use as well at some point in the paintings, which I've been excited to have, and I've not used them as much. They were so pricey, but I need to feel comfortable in just doing and not trying to be too precious about them. So I've started using them. It's taken me a little while to get brave to do that. Then I have my brushes I'm gonna use and things. And then I have my acrylics here. I bought some new acrylics recently, and so I've got some of these and some more. There's up to 48 of them, and I'm trying to think how I will use that in this painting. So yeah, a lot of different things that I'm planning to do on this. So this is still a little bit wet, but I might start drawing with my pencil anyway. And so I'm using my left hand, and I'm just gonna try and get some inspiration from some of the characters that I've already seen. Actually, I have charcoal, so I could go in Seeing if it's wet, work with some charcoal, which will dry with the, well, we'll see if it draws on this. I can't remember. This is where they're using my, there's thinner ones and there's thicker ones in here that I got. There's some thinner ones like this, and then this one, which looks very fragile. And there's a thicker one. Look at that. So it's just to draw with these whatever way. So yeah, let's try with my left hand and see, will this actually draw on this, because it might be too wet still and it might not respond very well. Because that's why I've been gessoing this actually, because the surface of the book is very smooth and it won't let anything draw on it. I don't think the charcoal's going to work very well on this. So this is what studio time is about. It's the trial and error and knowing what will work and what won't work. So let's put that away and go back to the pencil and start trying that again. So it's just trying to think of what character to do here. Yeah, I was remembering my daughter, her latest hairstyle that I'm doing for her, which is kind of twists that are up in her hair. So I thought I might try something like that. It's kind of supposed to be twists in her hair. So there's that, and then so this character has a neck down here. So let's put some more, because the face, usually what I've been finding is that the nose has not had enough space in the mouth. So basically, because it's still wet, it'd be ideal if it was actually probably drier, I don't know, but whatever. And then just with my left hand, just allowing, all the marks are beautiful, I love them all, and then just add in kind of the flourish around the neck. And then you can add actually like leaves, and it's not very controlled because it's a weaker hand, so I just love the way that it's bringing out a lot of gestural marks. So all this at the moment you might not be able to see very well because it's pencil and I'm working on this, and then the hair up here. And let's see for the eyes. So I'm seeing some eyes here that I'm gonna just follow. And lashes. So this is still with my left hand, so it's still very, and I'm cleaning off the excess gesture that I'm doing. So, and then kind of cordoning off where is going to be for the nose. See, and here. So this is going to be the darker eye, but and you could probably hear my clock in the background. It's very loud, clicky noise. Right, so right, and then trying to see right her. So I'm going to switch hands now and start trying to use some other things to work on this character. Not sure if I should add another one. I'll just work on this one. I'll try and finish just this one. So I will work on her. So still trying to be as free as I was. So you can see the controlled difference in using my right and my left. So I'm going to go straight in with the watercolor because I don't want to take too long on this. So I'm just putting some water in my watercolors, which I should have done before, but once you drop off the kids, it's like everything is go, 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 so I am putting water everywhere to get my stuff ready. So, trying to think what to go with first. I always start with the brown kind of for the skin. So I think the gesso is still a little bit wet here, so it might blend in with this a little bit. So with this, you can also add acrylics after as well. I mean, when this dries, I am going to use my pens, I'm going to use all sorts of things. So it's kind of trying to measure up the drying time and everything. So I could, while that's drying on that side, I could just use acrylic and try and, but if I use the acrylic, then I need to understand that I'll need to keep on adding acrylic for that. So I have all sorts of different stuff I can do with that. Actually, the watercolor pencil here, I'm just gonna use the size. Some in our hair. There's a blue. So these are Conte pencils that I'm using, a watercolor pen. This is a Conte pencil, but I was using a blue watercolor pencil before. So I'm seeing a purple in here somewhere. I'm gonna use this acrylic. What should I do next? Right, just put some in her eye. Still wet and some in her hair. So the hair always has like the hair, the eyes, it's trying to carry the colors all through everywhere, isn't it? So this is for me just a sketch time and experimenting, and I'm just leaving it open to viewing just to see what I'm doing. Happy mistakes and not so happy mistakes. I will be learning something from it. I know when I'm watching videos, sometimes I'm like, no, that looks really good, don't do any more. But sometimes it's hard to see that for ourselves. So I'm gonna add some greens. I'll use some watercolor. So I really like these leaves that are like this lime green. So I'm gonna put this green also in her eye. Pull it back, right? Maybe some darker blues. I had some of these blues yesterday in the other piece that I did. So and put some of that in there. You can see how that's changed a little bit. And I'm trying to put some, so it's still kind of trying to dry. So while this is still trying to dry, there's different things you can add to it. The browns on the faces. Just see. Just put a little bit there. Bring in the cream now. So I'm trying to kind of get the skin tone a certain way, but a watercolor and adding the acrylic. think it's an interesting result from it, and the pencil and drawing. This is an interesting page. I like the flowers, and I'm trying to keep it carefree, so maybe do some more flowers and put some more things around it. So I will as a page. So it's about everything drying as well, so I don't want to keep on. So let's take this brush out of the water. I'm gonna take this off and bring it closer so you can see what I've done so far, and it's okay. I mean, you can't see the proper colors in this, but so I'm not talking much because that's how much concentration is involved, but I'm just coloring in the flowers, trying to decide if I need to do anything else. Not really looking for a masterpiece, but trying to understand my approach to the whole thing. So yeah. And if it dried on time, it'd be great, because then I would have started maybe using my pens. So maybe I use my pens in some areas of this. So I've got, this is a blue. So I have some blues here, which I'm selecting in the blue family. Because that's something else that I'm learning, which is like this, all the different shades that you can use of colors, and trying to use them instead of using, you know, mixing white in with everything. So all these different blues, and I'm just gonna put my chair up to sit down. This is hard work standing for this. But yeah, so trying to see what blues I can use in this area here of my pens, because I want to use my pens. So I'm going to start with the lightest one that I can see. I think that's what they look like. So, and then just start. And so the areas that are dry, and not go where they're not dry. And just do some, put in some color. If our hair was dry, I would have added some more to that. And then this one as well. Maybe even then just put something, just interrupt that a bit, and then so it puts in the gesso. Let me see my brush. So something I wanted to try yesterday, which was, it dries so quickly, you can see that the water doesn't even move it, it just like seeps in. Oh, this one's got some coming off. but the marker is so strong that it doesn't even give you a chance to do anything else. It's straight in there. So all these are a lot drier. My hair is still a bit wet in areas. So it's just kind of getting the colours together in different areas and trying to unify the whole thing. So I think one of these I might use for the actual stem down. Just using the different blues. This one. We didn't use that, but let's see. Dots on it. All this, if this is dry, then I would have gone into that, but I'm still a bit suspicious of that. So some of that might have dried. So I've got some browns. That then I could use as well. So the different browns. And trying to see what I would be using for her skin tone. So this doesn't make a difference because it's really light. That's added a little bit there. And the thing is they all mixed as well. So even though, and this is I think, is it, oh, that's still wet a little bit there. They all still mix together, so it's really so it's seeing what works and what isn't going to work. And that will be trying really quickly. I think they work with themselves, but not too much with other stuff. So like here, it's just like some of this is, if you wet it, you can scratch into it a little bit, or just sketch a little bit more into it. Let's see. Let's come closer. So I've added the blues, which weren't there before, and should probably leave this page alone, really. What I'm going to do is take this over to the window and see if you can see it a lot clearer than it is right now, because it's, let's see, not really, it's still kind of dullish, but I'll take a picture and I'll post it on my website, or on, yeah, and you can have a look at what that looks like on my Facebook, which is Beatrice Ajayi Artist. So, but I think that will be fine for now, but I really wanted to start just experimenting and seeing what I come up with in the book. So I'd wanted to use some more acrylics in this, but the drying time is really quite annoying. So that's why I usually do my time lapses, because it takes so much time in between to actually dry the artwork. So with this as well, what I can do is come in with some pens and as in like, what am I thinking about here? Yeah, just more detail, using even my Sharpies as well, and just coming in and doing the finer details once it's actually dry. So, but yeah, that's a little bit of an experiment that I learned from, and see what is working and what isn't working together basically. But it was fun trying anyway, so I will keep going. So that's just a little bit of intel as to what I'm doing today, and I will just keep on going and trying to figure out how to get to what I have in my mind with my work. So thank you for joining me, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.